Watching Saitama punch holes into mountains is a euphoric feeling for sure, but there's nothing more exciting than watching the main character grow from a weakling into a being so strong that he becomes a sign of terror for his opponents. This is the reason why Naruto became one of the most beloved anime of all time. So in today's video, we're going to look at 10 animes where the weak MC evolved into the most overpowered character in the entire show. Now let's get started. We're starting off with one of the most underrated shows of all time. Ranking of Kings is about Prince Bojji, who is deaf and mute and doesn't have the physical strength of normal boys. His own mother and stepbrother use his physical shortcomings to dethrone him. His brother even orders his assassination, but Bojji is a survivor who stays alive through all of this. He now has just one goal: to become so strong that no one can humiliate him again. We see a kid who knows how much he's hated and it breaks his heart, but he doesn't let anyone see his tears. Instead, he keeps trying to overcome his physical limitations, and it leads to a payoff that's certainly worth every second of the show. While Bojji isn't the flashiest MC out there, his story is certainly one of the best I've ever seen. Next, we have Shinichi from Parasyte.
I don't know how the hell you got in there.
This sci-fi thriller is full of gore and chest-thumping action sequences, and it all starts when our protagonist Shinichi becomes a victim of a hidden alien invasion. Parasitic aliens are taking over the bodies of dozens of people, but Shinichi somehow manages to stay alive, even as his hand falls under the control of the parasite known as Migi. After realizing that they need each other to survive, Shinichi and Migi work together to hunt down the monsters that keep coming after them. It's an emotional and high-stakes story where our MC turns from an ordinary guy into a badass alien hunter who is looking for revenge. So, if you're for an intense thriller, make sure to give this one a try. From Shinichi, we move on to Kenichi. From Kenichi, the mightiest disciple.
Ryuto, for your sake, I will defeat you!
Our protagonist is studying at a school where everyone is super strong and they seem to love fighting. Yeah, I know it sounds a lot like Baki, but unlike Baki, Kenichi is not strong at all. In fact, at school, he's known as the weak knees Kenichi. Kenichi is miserable, but it all changes when he meets Miyu, whose grandfather runs a legendary dojo in town. Tired of all the bullying, Kenichi joins the dojo, and over the course of 50 episodes, we see his journey from being fodder for the bullies to an insane martial artist who saves the world from complete chaos. This is a light-hearted series with some great old-school action sequences. Moving on, we have now Fumi from the Rising of Shield Hero. As the name suggests, our MC is summoned to a world as a hero and he wields a mythical shield. However, the people of this world really hate the shield hero. Their preconceived hatred leads to our hero becoming an outcast in a world where even the church won't help him. To make things worse, now Fumi can't even use any weapon, so he has to rely on his underling Raftalia to fight off the monsters for him. Talk about having a handicap. Things look bleak for our hero, but his lack of power is a blessing because it forces him to study the world around him. This knowledge helps him become a master war tactician, which is probably the only way to save the world. Now, Fumi isn't the kindest hero around, but he sure is a fair one. He won't help anyone for free, and all he wants is revenge, but along the way, he won't hesitate to help anyone who asks for it. Continuing with the isekai genre, at number 6 we have Subaru from Rezero. Subaru is one of the best protagonists of the last few years, simply because of how ordinary he is. After he gets transported to a world filled with magic, Subaru quickly learns that he is hopelessly underpowered. He only has one special skill, but using it will quite literally drain the life out of him. Subaru goes through hell as he gets stabbed, tortured, and even burned alive, but every time he learns something new, and pretty soon he becomes the only being that can save that world. Subaru's story is is filled with pain and regret, but it also has some heart-touching moments that will make all the suffering worth it. So if you're looking for an isekai anime with a bit more of a serious tone, I suggest you give Rezero a try. We're taking a break from the fantasy world to discuss a character who is as real as a protagonist can get. We're talking about Ippo from Fighting Spirit, who is next on our list. Ippo's story is what pulled me towards the beautiful sport of boxing. But just like me, Ippo didn't care about boxing until he was in high school. He is a shy kid who gets picked on daily by the school delinquents. One day, Ippo gets the crap beaten out of him and a man takes him to a gym to patch up his injuries. Ippo later learns that the man who brought him to the gym is professional boxer Takamura Mamoru. After spending some time in the boxing gym, Ippo decides to become a strong boxer like Mamoru. But Mamoru doesn't think Ippo can work hard enough to achieve this lofty goal. Ippo gives up everything to become the best boxer in the world. His journey to the top is filled with blood and tears, but there aren't many tales as epic as this masterpiece. Next on our list, we have Midoriya Izuku from My Hero Academia. Izuku's story has a rough start. He was born in a world where most people have superpowers, but unfortunately, Midoriya learns that he's just an ordinary kid. Suddenly, his dream of helping others like his idol All Might becomes impossible. But it all changes when Midoriya puts himself in danger to help his friend Bakugo. All Might sees it and figures out how good a person Midoriya is. So he gives the kid a chance to become the greatest hero in the world, but the road to greatness isn't easy. Midoriya trains day and night and faces criticism from everyone around him as he trains to become the next All Might. For nearly 5 seasons, we watch as Midoriya learns to control his strength while facing vicious villains. He loses limbs, pride, and even his own ideals in his quest to be the best. But this is exactly why so many of us can't keep our eyes off him. The MC at number 3 on our list is another high school kid who is the living embodiment of the word determination. We are of course talking about Hinata Shoyo from the acclaimed sports anime Haikyuu. Hinata has only one dream, playing volleyball at the national level. However, he soon realizes that he might as well be asking for the moon because he doesn't have the physical gifts of most good volleyball players. He has short stature and no one takes him seriously, but he doesn't give up. Instead, he trains so hard that he develops almost inhumane athleticism. This helps him stand toe-to-toe with the best players in his country. He is helped on his journey by many friends, including Tobio Kageyama, who shares Hinata's dream. Together, these two nobodies become the best volleyball players in Japan. The tragic tale of Hyakimaru from Dororo is up next. It starts when his father sells his infant son's body to demons just to gain power. Yeah, this is a rather gruesome and sad tale. Hyakimaru is left to die, but a healer saves his life and gives him prosthetic limbs. The kid with a deformed body learns to fight and starts his journey to reclaim his body from demons. He's accompanied by a thief named Dororo on his road to vengeance. Hyakimaru's journey is filled with emotions and amazing fight scenes, and it leads him to the man who ruined his life, his own father. As an anime fan, Dororo is a hidden gem that I wish more people enjoyed because there aren't many other shows like this one. Now before we talk about the number 1 on our list, become the MC that you're destined to be and level up by giving us a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. The number 1 MC topping off our list is Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. This is arguably the most revolutionary anime of the last decade, due to how realistic its characters are, including Thorfinn. Thorfinn is only a kid when he witnesses the murder of his great father, and at that exact moment, he swears to seek revenge. He tries to kill Askeladd, the pirate who assassinated his father, but Askeladd is a great warrior who shrugs off this little kid with ease. Still, Thorfinn refuses to give up. Instead, he joins the pirates to get strong, so that he can beat Askeladd one day. The next few years of his life are brutal, as we watch his innocence leave him each time he commits a crime. In a world where only the strong have a voice, Thorfinn will do anything to become the strongest, and his efforts eventually bear fruit. Thorfinn's tale is so captivating because he isn't a good guy like most other protagonists. His story is best captured by the show's insane opening music, Mukanjo, which outlines that sometimes you need to give your very soul to reach the top, and only then do you realize it might not have been worth it. And that wraps up today's video. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.